Hello, people of the internet, and welcome to another episode of How I Done Painted It. I know I've been away for a while from the YouTubes, but I figured I'd record another one. So this guy is another panel for Grubworld, which I think the last one or 2 episodes ago, I did another one for Grubworld. Anyway, it's kind of a webcomic type situation. And I'm just painting up this panel for it. So you'll see I started with a pretty graphical composition, just laid in some flat elements, and now I'm going into each element and painting it out, which is a method I've been working in a little bit more recently, just because it helps me to spend the right amount of time on each part, because usually I tend to rush a little bit. And if I just start painting, I tend to let some pieces of the painting fall to the wayside, and this way I get to focus on each little part like it's its own composition, and that way it keeps it about all to the same detail level. And it also helps to get your composition down before you start painting, just because then you can see what all the big shapes will look like. Which is probably the first thing you're going to see from like 20 feet away, or as the case may be, a very small thumbnail, is whether or not the composition's working. So it's really important that you have that sorted out first, or sorted out well, however you want to do it. There's a lot of different ways to paint a picture, you know? There's a lot of different ways to skin a cat. Just do whatever, you know? Just do whatever. I'm just showing you one way that I did it once for this painting. But, you know, everyone's wrong. That's the deal. No one actually knows what they're talking about. You just do you, you know? You just paint. And if something I say or someone else says is helpful, then take that on board. But, yeah. So this guy is sort of a mountain type situation where there's a storm going down with some blue lights happening up there. So that's kind of fun. I used a lot of sort of this smudgy brush type thing. Here you can see that I'm trying to paint in the reflections on the water. And I tried to at first make them relatively accurate reflections, and then I just said screw it, and because it's my painting and I do what I want, I just put in these big old lines to kind of suggest reflective water, even though it's not correct. I thought it was a little bit more graphical and fun, so that's what I did. And if you don't like it, you can just get out, you know? You can just get out. That's all I'm saying, really. So here I'm just brushing stuff in with a brush. Not super interesting, but I'm just laying in little bits of color. Sometimes little bits of disparate color where it's like way off hue-wise. That makes it kind of fun for your eye to sort it all out. Probably could have done better with that. Could have done better with a lot of things, though. You know? I always could have done better. There's plenty of things I could have done better. All the time. It's never perfect. But yeah, so I'm just painting in these little details here. I think I would have preferred to add more sharp elements to the midground, because right now it's a little bit milky. It's kind of, you know, blurry. Because it's all clouds and grass and things that are very fluffy. So I think I should have added something in there that was maybe a little sharper. Maybe not, though. Also, I should have made those cattails a little bit smaller. Those are those little corn dog looking things see near ponds, if you don't know what cattails are. There's those little things down there. Probably should have worked those more into the composition and made them a bit smaller. Here I'm just playing with some curves. I don't even know if I end up keeping it. I do think I changed the colors around, which I do tend to do quite a lot, is adjust that little hue slider until I get something a little bit more interesting. Oh, and there I'm adding in a little bit of atmospheric perspective just to push out the foreground a little bit more. And now I think I'm going to be starting to paint on the spicy dragon here. That's the mechanical, three-legged, walking bean stand which the main characters of Grubworld live in. You know what? Just read the thing. It's on the internet. You can go read it right now. I'll put a link in the description if you want to read it, maybe. But here I go. I'm just painting in these little colors. So first, I just separated the light from the dark. Really simple. Just where's my shadows going to be? Where's my light going to be? And then after I get that down, that kind of serves the same purpose as blocking out your composition with flat colors. It just gives me a map of about where the light's going to be and where the dark's going to be. And after that, the rest is just kind of fine-tuning. But if you make sure that those light and dark areas are really nice and graphical, usually the rest kind of falls into place. And now I'm just painting in all kinds of little details. The spicy dragon actually in the story always changes just a little bit from panel to panel. I have basic proportions that I use. I mean, if you watched the last video, you'll see that I sometimes use a 3D model to keep the proportions correct. This time I actually didn't, just because it's a very small part of it. It was just the top, so I didn't really need it. But I haven't really nailed down the details that well. So each panel I just kind of draw whatever. So you can see a lot of discrepancies if you look real careful. I don't really think that it takes away from the image, so I just have fun with it each time. But yeah, now I'm just painting on some little details. Some of these I'm not sure if I like them. So maybe I should get a better design for the spicy dragon and, plan all out what it's going to look like, because some of these kind of noodled around with, and I'm not sure if I still really like them. Like, what is that thing? Because it's kind of a vent type deal. But, I don't know. Not my favorite. Little X there. But this painting was pretty fun to do. There's a lot of, despite blocking out the composition very rigidly to begin with, a lot of the painting was very squishy, and I was kind of just noodling values around and brushing stuff in, so it was a lot of fun. It was actually, this is probably a bit less planned out than I do most of the Grubworld paintings, which is always fun. Just putting in some panel lines. I think I made the ones at the top a little bit too dark. It's never perfect, though. It's always something. We're going to go back in, look at it, and be like, man, I could have done that different. Maybe I should have done it different. Maybe I should go back in and change it. But I don't think I will. That sounds like too much work. I have other things to draw. I actually should have another video coming up soon. Hopefully there won't be such huge delays between videos anymore, but we'll see. My channel isn't super duper popular, but, people who look at it, I'd like to put out content a little bit more often. So it looks like we're nearing the end here. I'm already plopping in my logo. Not actually the Ether Technician logo, the Grubworld logo. So folks can find the blog. Like I said, the link will be in the description if you're interested in giving it a look. So I think this is about it. Just saving it out a little bit smaller. There it is, sliding past a screen like that. Isn't that fancy? Yeah, I have Premiere Pro.